64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy.
Hello, and happy day. How does slowing down sound to you today? Would you like to reduce the noise for just a bit? Are you ready to make a choice and decide to listen? My name is Igor SF Walker. I am here to remind people to slow down, to reduce the noise, to walk their lives into a natural flow. Welcome back to the Book of the Week series. Every week, as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. Today, we look at Oneness by Rasha. In this video, we look at the fact that the vibrational momentum driving all creation toward unity is the same momentum that people everywhere are experiencing in their daily lives. And everywhere we look, we begin to see the effects of the accelerated frequencies all around us playing out as human experience. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I have used that will help you tremendously in this game of life. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. To understand the dynamics of how we manifest our reality vibrationally, and how our emotional response mechanism sets up the parameters for drawing our life experiences to us, I saw the symptoms of the process of ascension, the phenomenon of shifting into accelerating levels of reality all around me. You are a spark of divinity in the throes of activation. The program for the process is deep-seated within you, and it will unfold at its own pace, regardless of steps you might be encouraged to take to accelerate that momentum. You may experience a sense of reassurance by participating in group activities targeted at expanding your consciousness. And you may indeed experience sensations indicative of amplified levels of energy during such activities. But know that the results of such exercises are, for the most part, short-lived. For the foundation for sustaining that energy is built from within, and the momentum of your growth is rooted in stillness. There is a place within the depths of one's being where opportunities that defy linear logic are able to unfold. None of you has the same burden to bear in terms of the levels of density brought forth into this incarnation, and none has been afforded a shortcut that will eliminate the need to detoxify your energy field of all that it carries on every possible level. Each of you is engaged in the process of cellular purification on the physical and on the non-physical levels that will enable you to rise to the fullness of your capacity for humanness in this physical form. And each of you is realizing that potential according to your own timetable and in your own way. Allow the brothers and sisters who journey by your side a place to experience their experience as they see fit, and resist the inclination to attempt to direct the process of others according to understandings you may have realized along your own path. You are here for your journey alone. Ascension is not an event, but rather a momentum. It is not something that happens to an individual at a given moment, and thereafter one's reality is instantaneously different. No. Ascension is a gradual shift. It is a shift in awareness, a shift in perspective, a shift in vibration, a shift in attunement, a shift in conscious alignment with who one truly is. So that there is alignment and full participation in the process. Ascension is a universal motion, a yearning, a striving, a releasing, a surrendering, a joyous culmination of your journey here in this physical form. It is not something that is done to you. It is a process that is initiated by you. Know that there are no limitations here, save those that you claim as your own. The ascension and the harmonization of all life in your realm is a simultaneous state of beingness, which is ongoing and ever evolving. And it is touched by every breath taken, by every word spoken, and by every blessed stroke of your collective materialized intent. Do not delude yourself into thinking that the world situation is out of control. Quite the contrary. The situation is very much under control. It is under the moment-to-moment control of the collective mindset, which co-creates it and recreates it in the ever-evolving moment of now. The adverse conditions with which much of your world is grappling in these times are not the victim-oriented results of random conditions. All of it is energy-based. By consciously shifting one's intent to one of conscious allowance of the manifestation of the highest good of the collective, one enhances the opportunity to manifest the brightest possible outcome for oneself. And in so doing, one is able to secure a state of beingness that is unencumbered by eons of trial and error and is free to explore the joys of the manifestations wide in alignment, divine will with your own. This is a blessed state of being towards which you strive in the present period. Yet, it is possible to manifest this state effortlessly, merely by relinquishing the need to embody separateness, by embracing wholeheartedly the truth of the multidimensionality with which you have aligned your vision. What is meant is not that one would relinquish identity. Surely one is able to retain autonomy, but rather that one would simultaneously embody one's knowingness of the full scope of one's beingness, while manifesting the persona in the physical form that you know to be you. Thus, in the elevated stages of the transformation process, one would actually be the physical embodiment of your full multidimensional spectrum of beingness that is, in fact, you. Attainable in the present period, and in fact, is a state that most of you embody now from time to time. Many have become aware of the moments where sensibilities are heightened, where the heart center is open and connected, and where one somehow is attuned to a level of wisdom and focus that goes beyond what one normally experiences. In these isolated moments, one's vibration has been elevated to the extent that one is able to embody the higher levels of awareness. You may feel compelled to share your more enlightened perspective with another. But know that unless that perspective has been requested and is clearly unwelcomed, your wisdom will fall on deaf ears, simply because you have attained clarity with regards to certain issues does not mean that others are ready to receive those insights. Each of you is in your own timetable. Each of you essentially is on your own unique journey. And even though many of you are making the journey hand in hand with another, the timing for the illumination of certain issues comes when the individual is ready to fully integrate those understandings, and not before. Resist the inclination to feel frustrated or disappointed when your newfound wisdom is not embraced by another with whom you are aligned on your journey. There's no place for expectation with regard to the vantage point of another being. Simply present your perspective with sincere and loving intent as it applies to your own life experience. Your responsibility is to retain that clarity with respect to your own process and your own life issues. That is all. Unless you are serving in these times as a teacher, and in that capacity your guidance has been sought by another, you are well advised to retain your internalized focus with regard to your revelations and to reserve to your opinions for the situations where they are invited and welcomed. When presented with an enormous table laden with foodstuffs and delectable confections and one average size plate, which selections do you put on that plate? All will not fit, and to sample more than a few bits would grow to be distasteful. Yet all the choices are right there waiting for you. All potentially have already manifested as possibility. Which then do you choose to experience consciously? Naturally, the question arises, how many plates is one allowed to have? And in answer, there is no limit to the number of plates one may take and fill to brimming if so desired. The rule is only one plate may be taken at each visit to the table, and a fresh plate must be taken should one desire to visit the table again. You are not required to finish everything you have put on your plate. Whether the plates appear full or appear empty to others is irrelevant to the way in which it nourishes your state of beingness in any given moment. A pristine empty plate could be perceived by some to be a reflection of deprivation and a cause for concern and compassion. Yet, to the one who holds the plate, its fresh emptiness is a reflection of one who has chosen to travel unencumbered. Many who hear these words have experienced the agonies of realizing that the scenario that they have spent most of their lifetime constructing no longer delivers the satisfaction that has been envisioned. Yet, there's so much investment in terms of time and effort and resources in the maintenance of that lifestyle that the prospect of change is daunting. The belief structure you are setting about to realign is the vehicle that provides the momentum for your transformation in these times. The time is now for your honest scrutiny of those core beliefs, to determine whether you are still able to give mental credence to concepts on which you have based your life choices. Chances are you have gone through the motion of accepting much of what society has ingrained in your consciousness, and unquestioningly you have emerged from the stupor of your day-to-day existence with the underlining litany that serve to reinforce the standard of separation that is the norm in your culture. Riding the wave of the energies is a skill that you will perfect as part of this process. Recognizing when you are in a state of connectedness is key to the timing of your responses to the circumstances as they present themselves to you. When your energies are at a low ebb and you are experiencing resistance, it is time to pull inward and not escalate adversity by directly confronting those circumstances. When you are floating upon an energy wave that is on an upsurge, this would be the time to initiate action. In so doing, one sets one's desired result adrift in the current of the energies and allows the momentum to carry one's heart's desires into manifestation. Non-attachment to outcome further enhances one's ability to realize an elevated result. When one's approach to living is one of trusting that the highest possible outcome will be forthcoming, that is one's experience of life. By resisting the inclination to allow fear-based conditioning to direct your choices, you reinforce your experience, riding the current in harmony, wherein there is surrender to the momentum of a process that is clearly larger than life. One is able to ease through the transitions and experience that the full magnitude of joy in one's realization of the heightened state of being. These are the conditions and the choices before you now, for you are oneness in every aspect of your essence, in every minute nuance of your being. You are the embodiment of the energetic equation of life itself. You are the physical expression of a momentum that yearns in unison with all creation to reunite with all that is. And that momentum is flowing in the direction in which it is flowing, regardless of the thoughts, interference, or resistance of anyone or everyone. This is the momentum you have awaited since time immemorial. Your consciousness stands on the threshold of a radical shift for which you have been preparing for lifetimes. You sense that you are at a place of completion with your major life issues. You're able to identify the patterns and the themes that have surfaced again and again and again in your dreams and in your dramas of your daily life. And you sense unquestionably that something has shifted in the very depths of your being. The shift is subtle, sometimes barely perceptible, yet it is undeniable. The energy flows easier, and resistance is nowhere to be found. You are a pioneer in uncharted territory. You are the most assuredly not alone, for you experience the connectedness from within that could only be divine. You are at a place of oneness with all creation. As each level is encountered and each set of conditions is assimilated by vibrationally, you become to refine and redefine your perception of the nature of your reality and your place within it. And you recognize that you are invested in an ongoing process that has distinct sense of where it is headed and has no need for your logical mind to steer the ship. With each profound level of vibrational augmentation, you assimilate, understandings emerge, and knowingness. And you become quite comfortable with the process that begins to put the past and the trials of transformation in perspective, in the form of a vantage point that has always been within you, but until these times of upheaval, these understandings were dormant, waiting for a frame of reference to give them relevance. You're able to see what, until now, you could not. And it happens again, and yet again. And slowly you begin to understand the nature of what is truly happening within you and in the world around you that does reflect it. Consciousness is not a blank canvas, void of passions, and simply because you have been drawn deeply into your transformational journey and have conscious awareness of the symbolism represented by the images that unfold before you. You are still a product of your own unique essence, your conditioning, and the unresolved remnants of the dramas and traumas of your full incarnate history. All are still factors actively at play in drawing to you, in refining the responses of your experiential reality. In time, you will be able to see in a way that could be considered physical. Life forms that were previously imperceptible to the physical senses of most humans, and those abilities will come to be regarded as normal by generations to come. There will be a cooperative air of live and let live amongst the creatures and the crossroads of time and space you consider to be your world. And the natural harmony with which this realm was blessed at its inception will be restored once more. That is the world towards which you journey an unprecedented speed in the present period. These are but some of the abilities which you can anticipate having available to you in your experience of aliveness in this physical incarnation. This is the adventure that does await you as you venture forth from the prison of illusion you consider to be your reality. And a small taste of what awaits you when you let go of your clinging to the familiarity of the past and open to the possibilities, to the experience in the eternal here and now. And the results that you manifest leave little room for doubt that the nature of your reality and the ground rules for optimum performance here have shifted radically. It is not the same world as it once was when you were taught how to survive here not so long ago. The page is turned now, and a radical deviation from what you may once have believed was your life script is written in bold on a new page of reality that appears before you everywhere you look. You may choose to cling in denial to what you have been told and what you have been thought. Or you may dare to recognize what is undeniable to your own senses and what is irrefutable as your own experience. It will become common knowledge quite soon that each of you is creating the reality of your life experience. And the mindset you call victim consciousness, whoa, will be relegated to obsolescence. It will no longer be possible to blame another being or circumstances beyond control for a given situation. For all experience will be recognized as self-determined on a fascinating complexity of levels. And it will be necessary for every being to take responsibility for the part played by each of us in the co-creation of the reality of mutual experience. And it is no longer possible to deny one's own part in the creation. One is left little choice but to recognize the role one plays as a creator and to cross a major threshold in the journey to oneness. When encountering another who is enmeshed in a major drama that is teetering on the brink of a breakout and a realization, it is best to lead that person through carefully posed questions toward discovering the answers within him or herself. In this way, the lesson is driven home in a powerful way, and it is not wasted and likely to be repeated in order that the understandings be integrated as knowledge. Knowledge comes of having lived the lesson, not merely having it intellectualized theoretically. Be aware of your loving intentions and be sure that you are not undermining the process of another by preempting his process of integration with well-meaning advice. Honor your own process of transformation for the richness it is programmed to provide for you, and respect the magnificence of the process of the beings who journey by your side, by allowing for the full expression of their humanness. Path each of you travel is unique. And though there may be similarities in the patterns, the subtleties of each individual's process are unique, experiential fingerprint. There is no value judgment to be superimposed here either by oneself or by another. For the merit is in the magnificence of the journey itself, not in the speed in arriving at the destination. It is important to understand that your present state of transcendence does not serve to invalidate the buoyancy of the journey that was necessary to take you there. What you experienced is no less real or relevant as a reference point in your history simply because you are no longer focused on the full intensity of those issues. The opportunity in having brought those categories of emotions to resolution is to remember vividly the richness of that level of experience, and at the same time to know that you are no longer there. When one assists in the process with focused declarations of one's intention to embrace the denied aspect of self, the phenomena accompanying ascension of the diminished reality can be poignant, and the experience unforgettable. When one becomes aware of the nature of the process, such incidents can be perceived as fascinating rather than frightening, and one is able to regard with bemusement the extraordinary turns that life has taken. Once the fragmented aspects of self have been united, one regards the world through the higher vantage point of the unified collective. One is able to be fully present without the need to defend one's choices to anyone. Those who are aligned to your process are right beside you in theirs. The others who cast stones out of ignorance are on their own journey and are moving at a different pace, and it serves no one to invalidate the process of those who are choosing to remain stuck in their habitual patterns. You will teach them best by example. Be in the integrity of your process and do not seek to convert those who are not naturally inclined to follow your chosen path. Your journey will not go unnoticed, merely unacknowledged. The quantities, the qualities that you strive more diligently to transcend are no less characteristic of what oneness is than your highest thoughts or actions. For what oneness is, simply is. There is no judgment. There is no higher or lower. All is oneness, following the direction of greatest joy, are simply choices, justifiable or not. When implementing such choices, be aware of the inner directedness of the momentum stimulating that choice. And then embrace that choice fully. There is no benefit for you to make choices reluctantly, out of altruistic feelings of duty. Any choice is capable of immeasurable rewards when initiated with clarity and a sense of willing participation. And you may discover, to your delight and your surprise, that the selection of an avenue that may have appeared to be a lesser choice is actually one that delivers a richness in perspective that could not have been attained in any other way. Know that. There are no right and wrong choices. They're simply choices. It is pursued that if one is correct in one's perceptions and thus knows them to be truth, the differing perception of another being therefore constitute falsehood. It has only begun to dawn on the collective consciousness that the countless differences in perspective amongst you are not evidence of a world of falsehood, but rather a proof of the infinite level of divine truth personified by the presence of each of you. Each of you holds a unique vision, and the experience of the divine connectedness of each is unparalleled. For the differing perceptions of another do not invalidate your own. They merely add to the richness of contrast of the composite vision that is oneness. The process is less a byproduct of making choices from a given number of possible options than of starting from a position of limitlessness and drawing forth the corresponding options as possibilities to be embraced as choice. Become clear to what is it that you truly wish to do or experience or know, and that very clarity will magnetize the circumstances through which one may explore one's heart's desires. There's no element of stature or lack of stature on the spiritual journey, for all is oneness. You each are simply at a different moment, a split-second freeze action, sparkle of awareness on a journey that is timeless. The collective points of illumination form the composite perspective of the journey known as enlightenment. And each nuance adds a subtle element to the essence of the whole. Ultimately, you do come to realize that there are no incorrect answers. Choices you have made, which have produced disappointing results, are your opportunity to recognize the conditions in which those choices were made. Choices made under conditions of uncertainty or fear or choosing wrongly set up the parameters for the thwarting of one's efforts and the undermining of the results that have been hoped for. Oneness has no agenda with regard to the timetable of your transformation. It does not matter whether you embrace who you really are this year or even in this lifetime, for time, as it truly is, has no relation to the illusions in the linear dream you call your life. We are here, waiting patiently for you, as we have been for all eternity. We are willing to wait. We will wait forever, if necessary, for you to work this out. And if it takes forever, you are no less our beloved. The question then is not what one chooses to be doing so much as the intent with which one chooses to be doing it. When one is focused upon material gain as an end in itself, as are the majority of beings in your world, the outcome is constricted by the foundation of fear upon which scarcity is based. When one is focused upon selfless service to the higher good of all life, without fear for one's own well-being, the highest result is manifested for all. And there you have it. Oneness by Rasha. Please do help out. It is easy. Simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too and spread the word. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. And the link to this book is in the description below. So buy it, read, never stop learning. Especially learning about yourself and nature. So gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website and find out what actually motivates you, what innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. The links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.